I tell them, oops, time to start. Tell them off on it.
All right, everybody, welcome once again to the renewal of Thursday Trivia right here on the first floor of Bradford Terrace. Is that what you wanted?
Lovely.
Let me go that way though. That's a little bit better. For those of you watching at home, I was just adjusting the blinds so that we get a better view. I'm your host and the Quizmaster, Mike Brever. We're here. Oh, let me get an extra chair out.
Where do you get it?
I get some right in here. All the people watching at home is waiting for goodness sakes. Where can we put you folks in here? Why not right here, huh?
That's very cool.
But you're gonna need a table to put things down on.
There's room over here.
Yeah, there's room over here.
Oh, there we go. Let me move these back here. Don't sit down yet, Bob. I'm gonna set you folks back here so you have a table to set things down on. And we have donuts right over here if you wanna grab them, whenever you want. How about like that? Well, I'll get you in here.
Right here.
We'll get you right here. Okay. Well, here we go. Is that all right for everybody? We're all set now?
Can I put this here?
You may. You may. Do you need a hand getting to your chair?
No.
Okay, all right. Okay. All right, for those of you who were watching at home, we're just doing a little bit of housekeeping here. We have a little bit bigger crowd than I expected, but we are all set now. Were you going to join us too? We have a seat right up here on the sofa. You can join us right up here. Let me show you at home. We have a wonderful crowd today. Latecomers are just sitting down now. You all should come and join us sometime. We're here every Thursday at 11 o'clock. And free donuts. We got coffee, juice, whatever you want. Again, I haven't been here for 3 weeks. That's no reflection on East Castle Place. It's a reflection on my home life. But here I am, and we're going to resume every Thursday again. We start every show with our July birthdays. Susan Hackle on the 2nd, Nancy Bolander on the 3rd, and Carol Lofgren is her birthday twin, also on the 3rd. Gil Church on the 4th, and Diane Weber, his twin, on the 4th. Janet Fleck on the 13th, and Ellen Bonlander on the 13th. Nancy Bill on the 14th, Carol Eschner on the 15th, Bob Wilkins on the 17th, Hank Herzing on the 19th, David Ewald on the 26th, and Barb Hill on the 28th. Happy birthday to all you birthday kids this month. If you see any of them, be sure to wish them a happy birthday, not just from yourself, but from all of us. Birthdays should be remembered. We're going to begin today by taking a quick look at puzzles. It's a game, problem, or toy that tests a person's ingenuity or knowledge. In a puzzle, the solver is expected to put pieces together or take them apart in a logical way in order to achieve the correct solution for the puzzle. You'll see this is a jigsaw puzzle. There's about 3 of them going on in East Castle Place at all times. 2nd floor of Contemporary. I still use the old building names. 2nd floor Contemporary, one in the basement of Historic. You're always welcome to just sit down and work with one of them. These things take 3 or 4 days to put together. The people that do them regularly don't mind. They're looking for extra help. There are different genres of puzzles, such as crossword, word search, number puzzles, relational puzzles, and logic puzzles. The academic study of puzzles is called egnometology. How many knew that? Anybody knew egnometology? Okay. Puzzle. Actually, I had to look up how to pronounce it, actually. I'm sure you're all impressed that I knew, right? Puzzles are often created to be a form of entertainment, but they can also arise from serious mathematical or logical problems. In such cases, their solution may be a significant contribution to mathematical research. The Oxford English Dictionary dates the word puzzle as a verb to the end of the 16th century. Its earliest use documented in the OED, Oxford English Dictionary, was in a book titled The Voyage of Robert Dudley to the West Indies, 1594 to 1595. The solution of puzzles often require the recognition of patterns and the adherence to a particular kind of order. People with a high level of inductive reasoning aptitude may be better at solving such puzzles compared to others, but puzzles based upon inquiry and discovery may be solved more easily by those with good deduction skills. Jigsaw puzzles, as we were just talking, are perhaps the most popular. Jigsaw puzzles invented around 1760 when John Spilsbury, a British engraver and cartographer, mounted a map on a sheet of wood, which he then sawed around the outline of each individual country. By the early 20th century, magazines and newspapers were found that they could increase their readership by publishing puzzle contests. It's probably the only contemporary thing that's in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel today.
Yeah.
Everything else is 3 days old. But you can read about last night's baseball game in Saturday's or Sunday's newspaper. It's just the way it is. But the puzzles are all brand new. The world's best-selling puzzle, invented in 1974, has 43 quintillion possible combinations. What is the world's best-selling puzzle?
Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, Rubik's Cube.
The Rubik's Cube, invented by the Hungarian inventor Erno Rubik in 1974. As of 2024, 500 million cubes have been sold worldwide. Does anybody know the secret to solving the cube?
Give it to somebody that knows how to.
Well, that's one way to do it. That's one. The other way to do it is to realize that the only stationary cubes on each side are the middle. This side has to be blue because this middle one doesn't move. This side has to be orange. How easy is it to do that? Well, you know, there's a quintillion number of possible solutions. But that's it. It's the Rubik's Cube. We're going to move on. We're going to take a look at famous 20th century photos. I want you to tell me what's happening in the photo itself. In this particular case, this is right outside the music studios of Abbey Road recording studio. The studio is actually hidden behind these trees here. The Beatles actually had just ended an all-night recording session for their album, Abbey Road. And it was ready to be published. And the producer of the album said, well, we're going to need a cover. What do you want to do? These guys had been up for about 18 hours recording music. They said, I don't really care. Let's just go outside and take a picture. And they went out and they did. And it's become one of the most famous pictures of the 20th century. My wife and I actually have a picture of us walking across Abbey Road. It's infuriating for the drivers because every tourist wants to go there and everybody is walking calmly across the road. And you get more fingers walking across the road than you get anything else. But that's the story behind it. The other thing interesting about this, you cannot see it here, but this played into the conspiracy theory that Paul was dead and the Beatles were covering it up. If you blew this up, you would see that the license plate on the Beetle was a 28 if. And the theory was that Paul had died at 27 from a massive car accident. And if he had lived, he'd have been 28. They thought the Beatles were sending a secret message. You'll also see the white was interpreted as a picture representing God, the minister, the grave digger, and Paul is barefoot. He's actually barefoot because he'd been up for 18 hours recording an album, but it all played into a conspiracy theory.
Oh, geez.
Tell me the story behind the photo.
Oh.
Tiananmen Square.
Tiananmen Square. There is actually a name given to this photo. Now, does anybody know the name of the photo? This was a Pulitzer Prize winning photo.
The Tank Man?
It's the Tank Man from Tiananmen Square. Very, very good.
Oh boy.
This is a Pulitzer Prize winning
Che
photo.
Guevara.
I'm sorry?
Che Guevara.
That is, in fact, Guillermo Heroico Che Guevara. Actually, a practicing physician who gave it up to become a revolutionary. He successfully worked with Castro to, I believe it was Batista that they overthrew when Castro came in. He then went down to Bolivia, I believe it was. He was killed in Bolivia when he was captured by troops there. Tell me the story.
The Marines.
The Marines?
Iwo Jima.
At Iwo Jima, one of the most famous photos of all time. I mean, there's just nothing else you can say about it. I believe there's actually a monument to this at Arlington, right?
There is. I saw it
There is one at
yesterday. It
Arlington.
was on
Yeah,
the- on
very,
the-
very nice, very nice.
You were there.
Tell me the story.
Looks bad to me.
I'm sorry?
Biafra?
Not Biafra, but you're on the right track.
Sudan,
Sudan. And what's going on?
still going on.
What's going on?
Drought,
Civil War.
famine.
Famine. It is famine. You'll notice that there's vultures in the background eyeing the child. It was a picture that galvanized the sympathy of the world. People saw this picture and they realized what was happening in Sudan at the time.
Really? Yeah.
Nobody really got it. But you see a little child suffering from malnutrition and a vulture staring at them, waiting their turn. It galvanized the world. Tell me the story.
Oh,
Vietnam.
Vietnam?
Eli massacre.
Not the Eli massacre, no.
Eli.
Not My Lai, no. No, not Tet.
Agent Orange?
Not you're on the right. You're on the right track, but not Agent Orange.
Napalm.
Napalm. It was the aftermath of a napalm attack. Ironically, this young lady is still alive today. She had taken off her clothes because she had become so embedded with the napalm, it was burning her skin. But she's still alive today. And what she would probably be, let's see, 50. So she's probably in her 60s or 70s now. A young person in her 60s or 70s now. Tell me the story. BJ Day, where?
Times Square, New York.
In Times Square, New York. Absolutely. Tell me the story. The Hindenburg disaster in New Jersey, right? Where does anybody remember?
May
Sorry?
1937.
Peterborough.
There you go. Okay. The interesting thing about the story is we've all seen the video as well from the newsreel. How many people were watching the newsreel that night and heard the famous words, "Oh, the horror"?
Wasn't that on the radio?
Yes, the two were spliced together after. There was film footage and there was audio covering from a radio news reporter. They spliced it together later for newsreels and it became the world famous Hindenburg disaster. Tell me the story.
Oh,
Marilyn Monroe, the movie?
7-year itch.
The 7-year itch. This actually was not planned. Marilyn kind of improvised this and they loved it. They left it in the movie. I didn't really care for the movie. Kind of dated. It was kind of like the only thing about the movie was Marilyn Monroe. And if you weren't in the 50s going to movies, you're like, well, okay, so whatever. Tell me the story. Muhammad Ali in a knockout. I probably could have found out who the guy was, but I don't know. I really don't know. It could have been Joe Frazier, could have been George Foreman. I don't know. But the important thing, it was Muhammad Ali in a knockout, and he's looking ever more like the champion that he was at the prime of his career. Tell me the story.
Central Jersey.
This woman actually has a title.
The pea shooter.
That's what she's doing.
Yeah.
But what is it really?
At the Berlin Wall.
Not the Berlin Wall. I will tell you, it's London, actually.
During the Blitz.
Not during the Blitz. It precedes the Blitz. Her title, it was a profession at the time. She's a knocker-upper. What did a knocker-upper do?
Professionally speaking.
Actually, yes, professionally speaking. What did a knocker-upper do?
wake up people.
Yes, exactly. In the early 20th century, before the prominence of electricity everywhere, England was becoming an industrialized community and people needed to get to work. So there were people that were hired to spit peas on windows of second-story windows to wake people up so they could get to work on time. And their profession was called the knocker-upper. They would knock up people and get them to work on time.
They spit English peas.
Yeah, they spit English peas. So there you have it. That's the story behind the woman in London. Tell me the story.
On the moon.
On the moon.
Aldrin?
I'm sorry?
Aldrin? Buzz Aldrin?
Nope, not Aldrin.
Neil.
It's Alan Shepard.
Oh,
What's he doing?
planting a
Planting a
flag.
flag.
Not planting a flag. Nope.
Taking a sample.
Not taking a sample.
Playing golf. Play golf.
Yes! Hitting a golf ball on the moon! Hitting a golf ball on the moon. Tell me the story.
Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor.
The Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, absolutely. Tell me the story. This actually was a
Titanic?
Pulitzer Prize winning nominee.
The Titanic?
Yes, survivors of the Titanic approaching the
April
Carpathia.
1912.
The Carpathia was the ship that rescued whatever survivors there were, and they are approaching the Carpathia. You remember the story, there was another ship that was much closer. At the time of the sinking, the U.S. California, but the California didn't respond. The theory is that they didn't understand, what the flares were that were going off. Also, at that time, there had been a brand new maritime disaster signal that had been invented that everybody thought everybody knew. And the Titanic used it, and not everybody knew what it was. What was that maritime signal?
SOS.
SOS, save our ship. So the theory is that California had no idea what in the world they were saying. They're throwing off sparklers that they thought was, entertainment, sending out an SOS, not knowing what it was. What's the story?
The Brandenburg Gate, Berlin.
Yeah, it is in fact the fall of Berlin. Very good. What is the story? Yeah, who said it?
Queen Elizabeth.
And what's happening?
Funeral?
It's the funeral of Queen Elizabeth. Very good. You'll see the now king, the rest of the royal family right there. What's the story?
I can't see that.
Times Square.
Times Square, when?
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve in Times Square, absolutely. What's the story?
Oh.
Harvey Lee Oswald.
The
Yeah.
assassination of Lee Harvey
This was
Oswald
just
by
before he was shot.
Jack Ruby. By Jack Ruby, nightclub owner Jack Ruby. This was on Sunday, following the Thursday assassination. He was being transferred to, he was in a city jail. I think they were transferring him to the county jail. Jack Ruby was a hanger-on in the police office, and he found out about it. What's the story?
That's the surrender on Missouri, September 2nd,
It's
1945.
a Japanese surrender aboard the USS Missouri. What's the story?
Oh.
Challenger.
The Space Shuttle Challenger. Exactly. I've
1986.
been in nonprofits a long time, and I was running bingo for my nonprofit at the time that this happened, and I had the unfortunate obligation to reveal to our audience that this had just happened. People actually got up and left. They were so disappointed that this had happened. And the big thing, of course, is that it was being watched nationwide, not just by people like us, but by school children. There was a school teacher named Krista McCullough
That's right.
who had been retained by NASA to fly in space and conduct experiments to show children the relationship between space and the things they're studying in everyday life. So unfortunately, millions of children watched this disaster, being told it was going to be a great thing. Name the story.
Nixon leaving.
Nixon
August
leaving. What's behind him?
1974, he's resigning and
What's
off
behind
to
him?
California.
What's behind him?
Nixon.
Anybody have an idea what's behind him? It's the helicopter. What's the helicopter called? What's the helicopter called?
Marine One.
Marine One, absolutely. He's about to board
And the
Marine One.
Andrews Air
There
Force
you have
Base.
it. That's our look at Pulitzer photos and what's happening in the background.
Oh.
As I said, I prepared the show 3 weeks ago, but flag trivia relates to the 4th of July as well. What are you telling someone if you fly the American flag upside down?
That's correct.
Disaster.
Kind of like that. It's help me. You're literally saying, help me if you fly it upside down. That's a national emergency signal. What happens with a flag when it is worn out?
Burn.
You burn an American flag once it is no longer usable. Who wrote the national anthem?
Francis Scott Key.
Francis Scott Key. Did he write the music as well?
No, it was a British drinking song or something like that.
A drinking.
To an Anacreon in Heaven, a British drinking song. He just put new words to it. That's all he did. When was the first time an American flag flew over a foreign fort? First time an American flag flew over a foreign fort.
Houston?
Not Houston. Oh, I know what you're thinking. Texas. Yeah, nope, not that.
Republic of Texas now.
In Hawaii.
It's actually before then. It's before then.
In Hawaii.
Not in Hawaii.
That's the end
That
of
was
the
after
century.
that.
End of the century.
Alaska drinking song.
It's actually in the song. It's in the words of one of the armed forces songs.
Shores of
Tripoli.
Yes! The American flag flew over a foreign fort on the shores of Tripoli in Fort Dern in Libya. America
Fighting
went
the
over there to
the
attack the Barbary Pirates.
Barbary
That is
Pirates.
correct. The Marines did. So there you have it.
President under Jefferson.
Who was the first president to proclaim Flag Day? Which was June 14th, by the way. This goes back a century. The president who first declared Flag Day goes back a century. Who was the president? 1916.
Wilson.
Woodrow Wilson, June 14th, 1916, he declared Flag Day.
We were in the war.
What also is significant about June 14th?
Oh,
It's our granddaughter's birth. No, our
that's
granddaughter's birthday.
good.
You're
that
good.
That's good. 'Cause
But you had to check with your wife just to make sure.
And
But that's not it. It's the birthday of one of our armed forces. Which one?
Oh, first day what?
Take a guess.
Oh, the Army.
Army. June 14th is also the U.S. Army's birthday.
Leader, Mr. Trump.
I think you made a deal out of that.
And it's birthday Trump too.
Prior to Woodrow Wilson's proclamation in 1916, a gentleman named Bernard Sigrid held what is to believe the first recognized Flag Day. He did so in 1885. What state was he from?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. There you have it. The very first Flag Day was held in Wisconsin by a teacher named Bernard Sigrid.
Was it in Fredonia? I think.
Could very well be. I don't know, but it could very well be.
You still have that sign. Yeah.
In what year did Congress pass legislation proclaiming June 14th as a national holiday?
Never.
No, it actually did.
Oh.
It's a national holiday. I'll explain it. It's a national holiday, but it's not a federal holiday. A federal holiday is what grants banks to be closed and things like that.
Right.
So a national holiday and a federal holiday are two different things. When did Congress proclaim June 14th a national holiday?
1952.
You are so close, we're going to go with that. It is 1949. 16 years after the death of Sigrid, the father of Flag Day, Congress passed legislation declaring it a national holiday. Once again, it was not a federal holiday at the time. So all the bank closures and things like that didn't happen. There you have it. That's our look at flag trivia. We're going to move on. My favorite part of trivia, finish this quote. This quote comes from Walter Cronkite, born in 1916, passed away in 2009. He was the American broadcast journalist who served as the anchorman for the CBS Evening News from 62 to 81. During the 60s and 70s, he was often cited as the most trusted man in America. I defy you to find a news person today who is titled the most trusted person in America. News has become more of an editorial content type thing. Depending on which one, you can choose which network you want to watch depending upon your affiliations. And that's just the way it is now. Cronkite received numerous honors, including 2 Peabody Awards, the George Polk Award, the Emmy Award, and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Cronkite reported many events from 37 to 81, including bombings in World War II, the Nuremberg trials, the Vietnam War, the Dawson's Field hijackings, Watergate, and the Iran hostage crisis. The first publicly transmitted live transatlantic program was broadcast via Telstar in 1962, and Cronkite was one of the main presenters in the multinational broadcast. The broadcast was made possible in Europe by Eurovision, and in North America it was simulcast by NBC, CBS, ABC, and CBC. Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, I'm going to guess. He also covered the assassination of JFK. He's the one that everybody watches now when America found out about the assassination. It's his video telling the world that everybody looks at now. He also covered the assassinations of Martin Luther King and John Lennon. He's also known for his extensive coverage of the American space program, from Project Mercury to the moon landings to the space shuttle. He was the only non-NASA recipient of the Ambassador of Exploration Award. Cronkite is known for his departing catchphrase, "And that's the way it is," followed by the date of his broadcast. Finish this quote. "Whatever the cost of our libraries, the price is cheap compared to that of
Ignorance.
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 an ignorant nation." An ignorant nation. Very, very good. The two of you, absolutely. Whatever the cost of our libraries, the price is cheap compared to that of an ignorant nation. Let's move on.
We have social media.
We're going to take a look at the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's a landmark which consists of 2,783 five-pointed terrazzo brass stars embedded in the sidewalks along 15 blocks of Hollywood Boulevard, 3 blocks on Vine Street in Los Angeles, California, a district of Hollywood. The stars, the first of which were permanently displayed, installed in 1960, are monuments to achievement in the industry, bearing the names of a mix of actors, musicians, producers, directors, theatrical musical groups, fictional characters, and more. The Walk of Fame is administered by the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, who hold the trademark rights and maintain the self-financing Hollywood Historic Trust. It's a popular tourist attraction, receiving an estimated 10 million annual visitors in 2010. As of 2023, the Walk of Fame comprises 2,752 stars, spaced at 6-foot intervals. The monuments are coral pink terrazzo, 5-point stars rimmed with brass. The name of the honorees inlaid in brass, block letters in the upper portion of each star. Below the inscription in the lower half of the star field, a round inlaid brass indicates the category of the honoree's contribution. According to the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, approximately 20 new stars are added to the walk each year. Of all the stars on the walk to date, 47% have been awarded in motion pictures, 24% in television, 17% in audio or music, 10% in radio, fewer than 2% in live theater performance, and fewer than 1% in sports entertainment. Not all stars are dedicated to performers. Other generic categories exist as well. On July 15th, 2005, the first location was awarded a star on the Walk of Fame. What was this location that was awarded a star?
What's that famous location?
Disneyland.
Yeah, Disneyland.
You're on the right track. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Disneyland. You're right. I was going with Disney World, but you're right. It was. Remember, I did this show 4 weeks ago, preparing for 3 weeks ago. Disneyland awarded a star on July 15, 2005, and became the first location that was honored in this way. We're going to move on to our final topic of the day. We're going to take a look at FLOTUS, First Lady of the United States. Is the title held by the hostess of the White House, usually the wife of the president, concurrent with the president's term of office. Actually, not always the wife, though. There was a president who was a bachelor, and his niece served as the hostess at the White House. So it can change, but it's typically the wife of the president. Although the First Lady's role has never been codified or officially defined, she figures prominently in the political and social life of the United States. Since the early 20th century, the First Lady's been assisted by official staff known as the Office of the First Lady and headquartered in the East Wing of the White House.
No more.
Actually, was headquartered in the East Wing of the White House. While the title was not in general use until much later, Martha Washington, wife of George Washington, the first president, obviously, considered to be the inaugural First Lady of the United States. Since the 1900s, the role of First Lady has changed considerably. Come to include involvement in political campaigns, management of the White House, champion of social causes, representation of the president on official and ceremonial occasions. Dolly Madison was the first to be called First Lady, but it was at her funeral in 1849. Never when she actually served in the role was she known as FLOTUS. Sometime after 1849, the title began being used in Washington, D.C., the social circles. The first person to have the title applied to her while serving, holding the office, was Harriet Lane, the niece of James Buchanan. Again, Buchanan was in fact a bachelor. So his niece held the title of First Lady at that time. The position of First Lady is not an elected one and carries only ceremonial duties. Nonetheless, First Ladies have held a highly visible position in American society. Maybe in 10 or 15 years we'll all still be doing trivia and we can talk about what you call a man who's the husband of the president. We'll see what happens with that. To have a FLOTUS implies that there is a couple living in the White House. Many of these couples have had very successful marriages. Who are the 9 presidential couples that were married for 50 years or longer? Carters were one. They were married 77 years.
HW.
Bush.
Yes, George and Barbara were married 73 years.
Let's see.
Eisenhower.
Yes, Dwight and Mamie were married for 52 years. You got three of the 9.
Roosevelt?
No, neither Roosevelt. You had a good thing going there though, because you had a double chance to be right.
Yeah.
But it was neither one.
What about Truman?
Yes,
Yeah.
Harry and Bess
Harry and Bess.
were married for 53 years. My dad was not a fan of Harry Truman. Harry Truman had a baby grand piano at the White House, and he played, to relax himself. My dad always called him Piano Harry. I don't know why, but there you have it. Who else?
John Adams.
Yeah, John and Abigail.
We're going to go with that, but it's not the John Adams you're thinking. It's John Quincy Adams.
Quincy Adams.
John Quincy Adams and Louisa Adams were married for 50 years. I take it back. Both Adams, John and Abigail, were married for 54 years. Congratulations, you stumped the quizmaster. So John and Abigail were married for 54 years
How
as
many
well.
is that now?
Well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 9.
3 to go.
3 to go. Ironically, 1, 2, all 3 that you don't have yet are Republicans.
Okay.
So you know it since 1860.
Yeah. Reagan.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
Ronald and Nancy were married 52 years. You got 2 to go.
Johnson's?
Not Johnson's, they were Democrats.
Oh, that's right.
You better
You're in the right era though.
Doreen, it's time
You're in
for
the
your
right
review.
era.
Did we say?
You got 7. Do you want me to tell you the last 2?
Sure.
Because maybe you mentioned one of them and I don't.
Nixon.
Yes,
Ford.
Pat and Richard Nixon were married for 53 years. And
Fords.
the Fords, absolutely. The Fords were married for 58 years. Gerald and Betty Ford. There you have it, everybody. That's the 9. That is our show for this week. I want to thank you for coming. I want to thank you for being 3 weeks patient with me. I'll try to be more diligent about letting you know if I'm not available. But at any rate, thanks for being here. My thanks to my producer, Scott McFerrin, my executive producer, Evan Riegler, my artistic director, Lauren Kobish, my content director, my very own wife, Mary Beth. She's the one who did the flag one for me this week. She comes up with a lot of that stuff. And I want to remind you of my very favorite actress of all time, Betty White. Born in 1922, passed away in 2021, just weeks short of her 100th birthday. As she aged, she became well known for having words of wit and wisdom for friends and family alike. And my absolute favorite is that everybody should get 8 hours of beauty sleep every single night. Unless, of course, you're ugly. In that case, you should get
9.
9. If you're ugly, get 9. There you have it, everybody. That's our show for this week. Thanks for coming. I'll see you next Thursday.